Okay, so imagine this. You're driving along, just a normal Montana highway.
Mm-hmm.
It's raining pretty hard.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden, you see this thing, right?
Oh.
This massive thing coming towards you.
What is it?
Well, it's not a billboard or anything. It's
Yeah.
a truck hull.
A truck hull?
Yeah, but like the size of a house, like 2 stories.
That's got to be a sight.
I know, and get this.
Yeah.
It's happening right now. Like as we speak, it's rolling down the highway.
It's incredible.
I know, right? And we actually have ATS Montana Talk Radio covering the whole thing live.
Cool.
So that's where we got this from, this report.
Yeah.
But, you sent this over to me.
Right.
And it's not just because it's, like, a spectacle, is it?
No, definitely not.
There's a lot more to this, right?
Oh, yeah. A lot more.
I mean, just the logistics of moving something that big.
I know. Right.
And then all the regulations, I bet.
Exactly.
And then how does this even tie into, like, Montana's economy?
Well, that's what we're going to get into.
Okay, cool. So should we dive in then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so first off, like, for people who don't know,
Yeah.
what even eyes a truck hull?
Right.
They said it was, like, 33 feet tall,
Uh-huh.
21 feet wide, and 13 feet deep.
Wow.
Those are some serious dimensions.
They are, yeah.
So what are we even talking about here?
Well, basically, it's like the body of a giant truck,
Okay.
but, without the engine, the wheels, all that other stuff.
Okay.
You can think of it as the empty shell
Okay.
that they'll eventually turn into a mining vehicle.
Oh, so this is going to be for mining.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And, Montana, big mining history, right?
Yeah.
So it's no surprise they're building these huge things there.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's like the skeleton
Right.
before they add all the muscles and the brains of the vehicle.
Exactly. You got it.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So this hull is going to be...
Well, they're going to turn it into a cutting-edge mining vehicle,
Wow.
the kind they use to dig up all that valuable stuff.
Right. Like copper, gold.
Exactly. All
That's that Montana's known for.
resources that are, like, essential to their economy, yeah.
Right, of course. Okay, so that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
But let's go back to the journey itself for a second.
Yeah.
It's raining right now, right?
Yeah, they said it was pouring.
Wouldn't it be safer to, like, just wait for better weather?
You'd think so, right?
I mean, that's what I would do.
Yeah, there's a reason they're not waiting.
Yeah.
Apparently, if they stop something that big mid-route, it could actually be more dangerous.
Really?
Yeah, think about it. Like, the momentum,
Oh, yeah, okay.
and then what if it, like, jackknifes?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Plus, imagine the traffic.
Oh, it would be a nightmare.
Total nightmare.
And then I guess securing a load that big
Yeah.
for like a long time, that's probably tough.
Exactly. It adds a whole other layer of complexity.
Yeah, it's not like pulling over to the side of the road in your minivan, is it?
No, not at all. This is a whole other beast.
Yeah, for sure. But they must have thought about that, right?
They did, yeah.
Like the weather.
They did, yeah.
It's not like they just didn't check the forecast.
No, they planned for this.
Okay.
In fact, the report even mentions this Sergeant Kelsey
Okay.
from the Montana Highway Patrol.
Right.
And he said they've been planning this for a long time
Oh, okay.
and that they have, contingencies for weather and all that.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
And he said they've got a whole specialized team
Mm-hmm.
and they're taking like extra precautions.
Okay.
So they're being super careful.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, definitely.
So, okay, how do they even move something that big?
Right.
Like, is it just a bigger truck?
Well, it's a bit more complicated than that.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, Montana, they've got all these regulations
Uh-huh.
for what they call oversized loads.
Right.
And this thing, it definitely qualifies.
I'll say.
So, we're talking special permits.
Mm-hmm.
And they can only travel during the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, daylight hours only.
Ah, interesting.
And then they have to have, like, multiple escort vehicles.
Okay.
And get this,
Yeah.
they even have crews standing by
Would for?
to, like, adjust power lines and traffic signals.
Wait, what?
Yeah, if they need to, they'll move power lines for this thing.
Seriously?
Yep, all part of the plan.
Wow, that's wild. I mean, it makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't want it to hit a power line.
Definitely not.
But wow, they really thought of everything.
That's the idea. Make sure everyone's safe.
Right, right.
The transport team, other drivers,
Yeah.
people in the area,
Mm-hmm.
And then, the infrastructure, too.
Right, the power lines and stuff.
Exactly. Keep things running smoothly.
And I guess these regulations,
Yeah.
they're all designed to, like, minimize disruption.
Exactly. Keep things moving.
Okay, so they've got all that planned out.
Yeah.
But, I mean, This thing's huge E.
It is, yeah.
They mentioned in the report they got to go over narrow bridges and they're like tight turns.
Right.
How do they even do that?
Yeah.
And how do you make that work?
It involves some pretty impressive stuff.
Like what?
I mean, think about it. They've got these specialized trailers
Okay.
with axles that, like, adjust.
What?
Yeah, so they can get through tight spaces.
Oh, wow.
And then they use lasers.
Lasers.
Yeah, for measurements and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like this giant slow-motion ballet,
Wow.
but with, like, physics involved, you know?
That's incredible.
Quite a thing to see.
I bet it is. It's no wonder people are calling it like a once-in-a-lifetime spectacle.
Right. Like, you don't see that every day.
Exactly. And it really does. Like,
Yeah.
it makes you think about, like,
Yeah.
what else gets moved around like this?
That's a good point.
Like those giant wind turbine blades. You ever see those?
Oh, yeah, those are huge.
I bet there are some crazy stories behind those, too.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
And you know, it's funny. Even the governor of Montana,
Yeah.
he praised the whole operation.
Really?
Yeah, he called it a, quote, prime example of the state's spirit of collaboration.
Oh. Interesting.
What do you think he meant by that?
Well, think about all the people involved here.
Yeah.
You got the trucking company, obviously, and then the highway patrol, and then, like, the utility companies, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then the local communities,
Right.
even the state government, working together
Yeah.
to get this thing where it needs to go.
So it's more than just moving a truck.
Exactly.
It's like a showcase for how Montana gets things done.
Exactly, how they all come together.
To do something remarkable.
Exactly.
Wow. I love that.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's not just a spectacle.
Yeah.
It's like a testament
To what?
to the power of, like, human collaboration.
Exactly, working together.
I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Yeah, it really shows you how everything's connected, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And speaking of connections,
Yeah,
this truck haul is going to a mining operation, right?
it is, yeah.
You mentioned before, like, Montana's mining history.
Right, right.
What's the deal with mining in Montana these days?
Well, it's still a big deal.
Oh, yeah?
It's always been super important to their economy.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they've got tons of natural resources.
Right.
Like copper, gold, silver, coal, all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
All that contributes a lot to, like, their GDP.
Oh, it's an argument.
Provides a bunch of jobs, too.
I see.
Think about all the industries that need that stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Like construction, manufacturing, electronics,
Right.
even energy production.
Wow.
Mining's a big part of all that.
Yeah, that's true. I guess we don't always think about it.
No, we don't.
But it's everywhere, right?
It really is.
So I guess what you're saying is
Yeah.
this truck haul,
Right.
it's not just a hunk of metal.
Right.
It's
That's
like,
it. It's a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
A link in the chain.
Okay, cool.
It's going to be part of this whole process.
Right. Of extracting the resources,
Yeah.
creating jobs,
Exactly.
empowering the economy.
That's it.
It's amazing how this one event
Uh-huh.
ties into so many things,
It really is.
from the people who build these vehicles
Right. Skilled labor.
to the impact on, like, the global economy.
Exactly. It's all connected.
It's wild.
Yeah. It's like a microcosm of a much bigger system.
Totally.
It's a good reminder that even in our digital world,
Yeah.
the real physical world
Mm-hmm.
with manufacturing and all that,
Yeah.
it's still super important.
It is. It is. But it's not all, like, sunshine and rainbows, right?
What do you mean?
I mean, with the mining industry, I've
Yeah.
heard, like, there are environmental concerns.
Yeah. Of course.
What's the deal with that?
Well, you're right.
Okay.
That's a big part of the conversation.
Uh-huh.
It's a balancing act, right?
Right.
The economic benefits and the impact on the environment.
Yeah. Okay, so.
There's a lot of debate about it,
Mm-hmm.
but there are groups working on
Yeah.
like responsible mining practices, you know.
Okay, so what kind of concerns are we talking about?
Well, one big one is habitat disruption.
Habitat disruption.
Yeah, when they do these big mining operations,
Uh-huh.
it can change the landscape a lot,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
and that can affect wildlife and plants and all that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So to try and help with that,
Yeah.
companies are doing things like habitat restoration
Oh, okay.
and creating wildlife corridors.
So the animals can still get around.
Exactly. Keep the ecosystem functioning.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's all about minimizing the impact.
So it's not just about, like,
Yeah.
digging stuff up.
No, it's about doing it carefully
Right.
with the environment in mind.
Okay, that's good.
And then another concern is water.
Water.
Yeah, like how much they use
Mhm.
and if it gets contaminated.
Right. Yeah, that's important.
So responsible mining operations,
Yeah.
they recycle water.
Oh, okay.
And they have like really strict monitoring systems.
And make sure the water's clean.
Exactly. Protect the water sources.
So it sounds like there's a real push to find that balance, right? Between the economy.
And the environment.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no easy answers.
Right.
But people are talking about it and coming up with new ideas all the time.
That's good to hear.
It is. It's a complex issue.
Yeah, this whole thing is about balance, isn't it?
I guess it is.
Like the truck transport, balancing safety and efficiency, and then the mining itself, balancing the economy and the environment.
Exactly.
It's all connected.
It really is.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
What stands out to you the most about this whole thing?
You know, for me, it's like the human ingenuity.
Okay.
And then just the scale of it all.
Right.
Like all the planning that went into this, the specialized equipment, all the different people and organizations involved.
Yeah, it's impressive.
It really shows what we can do.
When we work together.
Exactly. When we put our minds to it.
Yeah, it's like sometimes the most amazing things happen behind the scenes.
That's true.
Like, we focus on the end product, but we forget about all the work it took to get there.
Right. All the steps along the way.
And speaking of steps, this convoy, it's supposed to get to its destination around 6:30 tonight.
Oh, wow.
If everything goes to plan.
Hopefully the weather holds up.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I bet there's a whole team waiting for it.
I know, right?
Eager to get started.
It makes you wonder what will happen next, you know?
Yeah, what's the next chapter?
Like, they'll build it into this mining vehicle.
Right.
And then it'll be out there digging up resources.
And contributing to the economy.
It's pretty wild.
It is, yeah. It really is quite a journey, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And it's given us a lot to think about, that's for sure.
Definitely.
I mean, we started with this image of this giant truck hole on the move.
Right.
And now we've talked about, like...
all sorts of things.
I know, it's crazy.
Regulations, safety, oversized transport.
Yeah.
The whole mining industry in Montana.
Right. And even the environmental stuff.
It's amazing how one event can lead to all these different conversations.
It really is. And it shows you, like, knowledge isn't just about, you know...
facts and figures.
Exactly. It's about making those connections. Seeing how things relate to each other.
Exactly. The bigger picture.
That's what I hope people get from this, you know?
Yeah, me too.
That the world is full of these, like...
interesting stories.
Yeah, and they're everywhere.
You just got to look from them.
Exactly. Be curious. Ask questions.
And explore a little.
I love that. And speaking of exploring...
yeah.
I bet some people listening are wondering
about
what other massive things are being moved around, you know?
Oh, I'm sure there's tons of stuff.
Like, this truck haul's pretty impressive.
It is.
But there's got to be even bigger things out there, right?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, what?
Well, think about those wind turbine blades we talked about.
Oh, yeah, those are huge.
Getting those to a wind farm, that's a whole operation.
I bet.
They got to go over mountains, through tunnels, sometimes even across borders.
Wow.
Or imagine moving, like, sections of a bridge.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Or giant pieces of machinery for, like, power plants.
Yeah.
Or even stuff for space rockets.
Space rockets. Wow.
It's mind-blowing.
It really is.
And each one of those moves, it's like its own puzzle.
Yeah, with its own challenges.
You need special equipment, expert planners, and a ton of coordination.
It's amazing what we can do, you know?
It is. We can overcome some pretty crazy obstacles.
It's true. So, to everyone listening...
yeah.
keep an eye out for those mega moves, you know?
They're out there.
You might be surprised what you see.
Definitely.
And if you've ever seen something truly massive being transported, we'd love to hear about it.
Share your stories with us.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions.
And never stop learning.
That's right. We'll see you on the next deep dive.